Returning back to college from Thanksgiving, my brother was in a pretty bad car accident. The day after Christmas, my grandparents' house burned down. I was picking up my sister from daycare, and we were pulling up to the house, and there was tape. And I was told that my father was shot, and unfortunately he didn't make it. So when I got to my car back at the hospital, my first initial thing was, okay, I need to support my family. Traditional education is what I thought I wanted, and I was looking into different schools. Financially, I began to be burdened, so I started looking into secondary options, and along that search, I came across Skills of Chicagoland's Future. I did a series of interviews with staff there, led into interviews with Walgreens, and fortunately enough, I was offered a position. When I got it, it was actually just like a force that just came above me, and it was just like an intense happiness.
When we hear the stories of those that are joining us through Skills, so many of their stories are so inspiring. And I think that when we hear those stories, it only reinforces who and what we're about as a company, from being purpose-driven and really looking to inspire our own workforce. So they're inspiring us.
Understanding the language of corporations is what makes Skills so unique. And it's critical to really making good matches to understand both parties.
There's great talent in all demographics. Sadly, we're not able to tap into all of those demographics. Being associated with Skills allows us that opportunity to ensure that we are tapping into the best talent.
Personally, when I want to figure out how I can help students get to that next step, knowing that a partner like Skills can translate what their experience with the employer has been to what our students will need to be prepared for is really critical.
There's education partners, there's the community-based organizations, there's our mentor partners, and there's the business. Somebody has to be the glue in that middle to hold all those pieces together. Skills plays that role of actually being able to convene those folks, to be able to get the career pathway designed, to be able to recruit and identify the youth. The youth program was different for Skills. I think for all the staff, including myself, we got to know the youth. We all, I think, collectively felt like we were all in it together. And when some of the challenges happened along the way, I think we felt it. I know I did. I think everybody sees a little bit of themselves in who we're serving, and it feels incredibly important that we move at a pace that gets as many youth as we can into jobs as quickly as we can.
Certain days I feel challenged to endure, and the way that I see myself moving through it, putting my best foot forth and giving my all.
So while disconnected youth is incredibly important in this city, the reality is that the adults and the unemployment rate for adults is also high in many of our neighborhoods in Chicago.
There was a time where I was unemployed. There was no cash coming in, no money coming in at all. I was scared. I was in security at first, 20 plus years, and I was watching everybody else live their life. And I'm standing in one spot watching them. This picture on Facebook of this woman that looked like me in a hard hat saying, "You can succeed," underneath it. That changed my life. I got my technical training from James Adams Resource Center, and they were the ones who actually started telling me a little bit about Skills. At first I was like, what do I need them for? I don't need to go now. I know how to do all this stuff by myself. And yeah, I did. Skills set up the interview with Friedman. Said Friedman would be a good fit for you, and I'm gonna send you for them. And I was like, okay. My name is Sheila Gross. I work at Friedman Seating as an assembler. I put together chairs for mass transportation, and I enjoy it immensely.
Employers need to be part of this city conversation, and that being at the table is critical, and Skills brings them to the table on a lot of these conversations.
We've been in Chicago for 125 years and plan on being here for the next 125 years. So our goal is to hire people from Chicago.
Adults are critical. We need those parents who are taking care of those youth to be just as engaged in the workforce.
The first half of my life was dedicated to my children and my family. I worked a job, wasn't really happy at. And then the second act should be for me. When it's all over, you can get your standing ovation, and that's what I'm on, my standing ovation. Yeah.
Skills is really positioned in the place of continuing to do this work until we've successfully remove the barriers that are blocking individuals from being able to obtain jobs. As we look out at the horizon and we look at the next 3 years, our goals are pretty specific. Number one, we want to place 9,000 individuals into jobs. Number two, serve 75,000 in skills offices and with our community partners together. And number three, we want to continue to focus on those neighborhoods in Chicago that have been the most affected by unemployment. Until those rates drop in our neighborhoods to match what's happening at the national level, our work's not done. Because every day we live and breathe thinking about how to get more Chicagoans into jobs. When this city sees a problem and they know that a job is part of the solution to the problem, I want them to call skills.